Alright, Pluto, MCLVI Alpha Zulu. Time to die.
Jay, you don't really seem into it today. Are you alright?
Honestly, man, not great. Work's been hard. There was this thing with a bull elephant. The Gila monster got out again. It's been rough.
Do you want to talk about it?
Not really, no.
Do you want to kill me and then talk to the doctor about it?
Yeah, that sounds good.
So let's get some cartoons and vodka and do them all night long. Are you ready for some fun? Drink 'em down, drink 'em down, drink 'em down. Drink 'em down, drink 'em down, drink 'em down. Oh.
Not sure I've ever positively covered something where a girl in a sailor outfit beats up monsters, but what can I say? I'm a sucker for a nice solid metaphor. Negative Happy Chainsaw Edge stars Yamamoto, a young man who feels adrift in life, but it's actually about Eri, a girl who fights the Chainsaw Man at night. Yamamoto just happens to walk into the middle of their nightly throwdown and can't believe his eyes. Here, right in front of him, is a real-life battle against an unambiguous evil. There's nothing complicated or layered about it. It's a hot girl beating the shit out of a monster in a trench coat with a chainsaw. He can't run away from this, and decides to throw his shoplifted meat at the monster, and instead slaps Eri in the face with his meat.
Phrasing.
Shut up!
She manages to recover from the interruption and drives the Chainsaw Man away. And that's basically the story. Yamamoto and Eri fight the Chainsaw Man, but Yamamoto's not really much good in combat, so he ends up as more of a support role. I guess I should mention that this manga is written by the same person who wrote Welcome to the NHK, which you should read! Or maybe watch, but also read because the manga's better. The simplicity of the premise belies the ideas that this manga wants to grapple with. The Chainsaw Man has no reason, he just is, so we are left with the why the characters are here and doing this. What compels Eri to fight this thing, and why does Yamamoto, who really has no business being here, insist on inserting himself? Yamamoto is dealing with the death of his friend Noto, the bassist in he and Wato's crummy little garage band. Noto was an odd duck. He was a chill dude, but every now and then he'd scream at the world for disappointing him, for not living up to his expectations. He died from crashing his motorcycle while going around a blind curve. Wata and Yamamoto aren't sure whether he did it on purpose and aren't keen to talk about it. Yamamoto has no direction in his life and is palpably aware of his lack of passion in anything. He uses the fight with the Chainsaw Man as an escape from reality and his responsibilities. It's a clear good and evil fight. Almost like it's an anime! He discovers very quickly that he has no business physically fighting this monster, so he mostly relegates himself to support class, giving Eri bike rides to the arenas and making warm thermoses. Yamamoto's journey of discovery is a lot cleaner than these types of stories, and especially his character types usually get. Yamamoto is a lusty wastrel, and yeah, he does sexualize the crap out of Eri, mostly in his mind, but he at least seems aware enough to do things for other people. Him biking Eri around is helpful, he can hold a conversation, and makes coffee without being asked. This makes the eventual romance and other events work a lot better than in Bunny Girl Senpai because it's believable that Yamamoto is capable of finding his better self. And it's refreshing to watch a male character learn that he has to be better rather than realize he was already good and just needed confidence. So Yamamoto has an interesting little journey where he deals with his teenage issues. Eri is pretty clearly fighting for survival against her own depression. The Chainsaw Man is her demon. They are intimately tied together. She knows when and where the monster will appear and is empowered to fight it. And every fight, after a few blows, the Chainsaw Man will flee despite not being visibly hurt. The metaphor seems obvious when I lay it out like that, but the looming danger of the Chainsaw Man doesn't immediately draw the comparison. It's much more of a slasher villain. But then we learn how Eri's happiness is directly tied to his strength. Yamamoto is told to transfer schools by his father rather suddenly, even in the narrative. And the night he tells Eri, she is visibly mad, but insists that it's no big deal. Having a friend for her battles has made the fights a lot less lonely, and she has developed real feelings for Yamamoto. The Chainsaw Man has been palpably weaker in the recent battles, but the night Yamamoto tells Eri he's moving, the Chainsaw Man kicks her ass. The burst in lethality is so sudden that Yamamoto has to physically protect her for the first time. Yes, I know that the metaphor is absurdly obvious, but I like what's happening here. It's not just that the Chainsaw Man is the manifestation of her sadness, it's that having her sadness physically embodied and attacking her is a lot easier to deal with than the fact that her family is dead. Eri's parents and brother died in a car crash she just happened to not be in. And rather than deal with that fact, she gets to fight a monster that killed her family. And obviously the Chainsaw Man is responsible for her family's death. I mean, just look how evil he is. Eri is doing the same thing Yamamoto is doing. Rather than face the cruel randomness of life, she takes the far easier deflection of the obvious bad guy did it. The manga ends a bit metaphysically, with Yamamoto being inspired by some song lyrics Noto wrote before he died. I'll be honest, I don't get it, but I'm no longer a teenager, and translating song lyrics is hard. Of course, it also ends with a bike chase, so... yeah, this manga can be a bit all over the place. That extends to the art as well. The composition is stiff, the character designs aren't anything to write home about, and the panty shots are a bit too frequent for my taste. But it also does interesting things with framing, expressions are good if leaning towards intentional gross out, and the Chainsaw Man has a really good design. My experience with this manga was a bit similar to my experience with The Last Jedi. It's messy, but I just like the core concept so much that I just rolled with it. As previously mentioned, it was written by Takimoto Tatsuhiko, who wrote Welcome to the NHK. It was drawn by Saichi Junichi, who is not noteworthy. Negative Happy Chainsaw Edge is a easy-to-read and punchy gateway to the more esoteric and lengthy Welcome to the NHK. Read Negative Happy Chainsaw Edge. If you like it, please move on to Welcome to the NHK. It's better and just really good. Till next time, I'm Pluto Burns, and this has been Eagle Land.